Great, so we'll go through the lineup. I did actually discuss the lineup, and it looks like I was almost correct. Looks like Ascension have MF, Bonage, Jekt, Slayer on Commander probably, Neza and Scatter. And, turn the music off, we've got Ioros, Grissi, Volk, Rilo, Icefall and Mendasp, and that is a really strong team. We're going live in 10 seconds, and this is going to be a great game, but I want to see Ascension really step it up here and try and get a couple of rounds, because they've got a really difficult match ahead of them. Anyway, we're on Tram right now. Check out the spawns. We've got Warehouse spawn for the aliens and a Southern spawn for the Marines. Pretty standard. And an early arms lab. So Ascension going for an early upgrade set builds. We'll see if they go Armor 1 or Weapons 1. Armor 1 is started, and we got a 2-2 split from the aliens with a Gorge perhaps. Mendasp on Gorge, probably heading to Mezzanine to get the tunnel up there. Rilo and Icefall versus Neza, who's running through on loan at Logistics, and he's got one guy building there. One guy headed to Hub, and got a 2 split on the right as well, so you've got one building observation and one heading through to elevated transfer. This is good from Ascension. They've got one guy defending the corridor. This is a choke point. You don't want to let guys through. This is the easiest place to defend, so they have one guy defending this with his line of sight and one guy building. That's a great way of doing it. Looks like a 1v1 Jekt versus Grissi. Grissi's actually taking a lot of damage. Looks like Jekt might take the advantage here, especially as he's got no parasite on him, which gives him a much needed advantage there. Neza baiting out Rilo and Icefall. Valk coming in to back these guys up, but MF actually flanking. It's got a great position. They could actually choke these guys and take them out. Neza actually goes in, gets caught out just in the right time by Valk and Icefall, and now Bonage is holding this choke point up against 3 Skulks. As soon as he's reloading, they might try and take him. Actually, they're considering going for MF as well, so great positioning from these Ascension guys, really hunting these Skulks perfectly. You can see they're trapped here, and just how scared they are to actually leave this area. Icefall probably going to get caught out here. MF and Bonage slowly and steadily taking these guys out. Jekt coming in from the elevator transfer push as well. Looks like he did kill Grissi, and that allows him to come into Hub, back up MF, and clear out Hub. And there's Grissi on the respawn with Rilo, but these guys have got great positioning. They're not backing each other up though. Very nice from MF, soloing Grissi as Jekt was kind of looking the wrong way. And we've got 5 extractors for the Marine team. They're very well done from Ascension, but Godar are in a pretty good spot as well. You can see they've got the tunnel up to the outer extractors, giving them free infestation. That's a saving on T-Res, the mobility that I mentioned, as well as the ability to defend both sides and the infestation. So a lot of advantages to those tunnels, and they've gone straight for it, all processing Mezzanine. Bonage and Neza, they will be heard by Grissi, who jumps down, gets a couple of bites, but doesn't finish off Bonage. He's on 30% health. Needs a couple of med packs. Neza actually coming in to back him up. Icefall, 2v1. These Skulks, they actually, I think right now they need to group up a little bit more, because they're trying these 1v1s, these 2v1s, and they're kind of getting outnumbered, and they're getting cleared up. A nice early Crag and a Whip on the infestation given by the Gorge Tunnel up in Mezzanine, and Scatter and MF are ready to kill the Whip. You can see the advantage of the Crag and the Whip slowing these guys down. They have to kill the Whip, then the Crag, then the Tunnel, then the Harvester, if they want to be as efficient as possible. And they've always got to be, they see it slows them down enough to bring the aliens in. They come into the defense. Icefall's getting the kill, but Grissi was taken out. It's now a 3v1. MF, there's no way he's going to take out these aliens with the Gorge in backup. Really nice job from the aliens with the mobility there. And they've taken 4 harvesters, and Ascension have taken 5. That's pretty even, although Godar actually going for the 5th now, it looks like, in server room. So Godar going for mass expand, and it seems to have worked really well. And they're doing a great job on combat. Now they've taken out elevator transfer. Neza comes in to try and defend, but there's 3 Skulks and a Gorge healing everyone up. You can see they're going to leave combat with full health. That's the effectiveness of that Gorge, bringing him into combat. Scatter, MF and Bonage trying to take the 3v4. Huge combat here. MF gets taken out. Scatter doing a great job. Bonage finishing those guys off, and now the Gorge is actually very vulnerable right now. If they can push him, looks like he does belly slide out of there just in time, and he probably will belly slide out. No, jumps over. Very nice from Mendef, staying alive just enough to get back to Mezzanine and defend that. And we've got Jekt pushing, all processing. The respawn wave comes in. Grissi, Volk, and Rilo at the front, jumping onto Jekt. He's only got 2 bites worth of health. Does get a couple of med packs, but not to save him from Valk. And there's an early lurk. That's the P-Res lurk, I believe, from Icefall. Valk's taking a 2v1, does get taken out by these 2 guys pushing into platform, and there's a nice little whip there. The great T-Res investments that force these Marines to either take their line of fire to different targets or slow them down. It's doing a really good job of making sure that they can keep these 5 harvests alive. Icefall doing a great job on his lurk, and Grissi on the resource harassment at repair him. Got Bonage versus Rilo, and then Volk coming in as well to Hub. A 2v1, they're taking the long range as well. Bonage's got a great advantage position, but he's completely outnumbered. Looks like Volk getting healed up. And Bonage with the pistol kill, really nice onto Rilo, doesn't quite finish off Valk, and it's especially important that that Gorge came in. Without the heal spray, he would have gone down. A little bit of lag there, not sure what happened there. Icefelt and Mendas now holding Mezzanine. This lurk is actually really important right now. He's doing a great job, and if you keep your lurk with the Gorge, you minimise the amount of downtime. And it looks like they just finished their first shell. All just upgraded their first shell upgrade. You keep your Gorge with your lurk so that whenever he takes damage and has to fall back and heal, you minimise the amount of downtime. Try and take as much advantage as you can from this early lurk. You're trying to chase him right now. He's going through this vent. You can see he takes a huge amount of damage, but he's right next to the hive. Will heal up very quickly. Whip's right there to defend North Platform. And Gristy and Valk doing a great job defending or processing. Right now, the advantage is all about the Godar team. Doing a great job with the Harvesters. They're not harassing quite as much as they need to secure the win. But the 5 Harvesters is a significant advantage. You can see that reflected by the fact that they got 2 shells at this point, and the 3rd shell is probably not long far away either. Rilo, Valk and Icefelt dealing with the server room push. Jekt and Ascension scatter. Not quite able to kill Icefelt. He's getting away with about 20% health, 30% health there. And no Marine aggression right now. They're losing map control. You can see Repair Room's gone down. Neza with the shotgun, and the Weapons 2 Armor 1 is going to be completed soon. Which is pretty quick. Not very quick, but it's good enough to stop these lurks and maybe get a couple of kills on them. If you can clear the lurk at this point in the game, you can actually start taking map control back and maybe pushing. But the weakness right now is Ascension. They haven't been pushing anywhere near as successfully enough. We've got Neza and MF, one with the shotgun, one with the rifle, looking to take on all processing. You can see a little bit of a clog wall to slow them down, a Gorge tunnel and an infestation from the Cyst as well. Going to make it extremely hard to deal with the Harvester there, and a great combat from behind, flanking, repairing from Hub. Mendas, Rilo and Icefelt taking a lot of damage, but the Gorge heal is just so powerful in combat. You can't afford to let that Gorge heal go off multiple times, because that's going to keep your guys very healthy. And you can see Jekt getting soloed by Mendas, fantastic fighting from him. And the Ascension guys, they've got great upgrades, but their combat proficiency right now is a little weak. And I think they're actually susceptible to a base rush as well. If they try and be too aggressive and a couple of skulks get through. There's no observatory. There's the observatory. There's no mines though. So if they force a beacon, that's extremely costly, but there's no mines. Phase tech is started, so they've got a plan. They need those phase gates up so they can hold map control when they take it. Now this is expensive, but look how valuable that is to Icefelt. He can go into an elevator transfer up against MF and Scatter. He can pop in and out. He's got hubbed. His whole domain is hubbed right now. You can see he pops in, takes a bit of damage. He's got his Gorge tunnel, he's got his Crag. He's still healing up, even though he's in combat. He's getting a lot of health from that Crag. You see they're moving up to make sure he's in range. And he's full health again. Extremely effective, and MF and Scatter, that's costing them a lot of time. We've finally got the first fades out. These fades are so early. Really early. 46 P-res on Gristy, and that's the 5 Harvesters. That's so impressive. Bonage, Scatter and MF actually grouping up to try and deal with the extreme alien advantage right now, but it might be a little bit too late as the fades have come out already. And they will have an upgrade. Yeah, Rilo has got his shell upgrade as well with the triple shell. Bonage, Scatter and MF, that's 2 shotguns and a rifle with the phase gate. They fall back to get the phase gate up, but Rilo and Valk will hear that and either rush in or go somewhere else for a base push, or not quite sure what they've decided to do. Looks like they're trying to commit to a base push. But the phase gates are completed, so I don't think that's going to be anywhere near as effective as they'd like. They don't actually finish the phase gate. That would have been the defense for them. Forcing them to beacon, not a problem. Build up the phase gate and you're back in elevator transfer. Assuming those phase don't get there before you can go through. So they got good positioning. They get out of the phase gate with about a couple of seconds to spare. Drifter comes through. Mendap's looking like he's getting a lot of damage. But I'm sure at this point he's got plenty of PRS. Fantastic range spiking from Icefelt takes out MF. Scatter and Bonage on the defense of this elevator phase gate with a robot factory, and they've built it on the infestation, so it's taking extra damage for no reason. They could have built that there and that would have been a little bit safer. It's little mistakes like these you need to be aware of. Looks like the Shade's coming in just to secure it a little bit more. It's usually not too effective, but it might force a couple of scans. There's the scan. And are they upgrading the robot factory to an arc factory? It's only 5 T-res, it's pretty cheap. And a 4 alien push. This is the power of this. All this T-res investment means that only Mendasp is holding up against 3 Marines, and he's just a little Gorge. It's really effective, and so they can kill Repair Room and then rotate back to the phase gate. Really nicely done from Godar. They're just using the perfect amount of players for their pushes and their defense. They have got 3 biomass with only 1 hive, which means they're probably looking to get the early bile bomb upgrade for the Gorge that did just die in this combat. Rilo taking a lot of damage. He's on 20% health. But this Crag here is making a huge difference. The shift as well. These guys will never be out of energy in this fight, and that's just such impressive decision making. This shift right here, they're moving it forward so that these guys can attack infinitely against this phase gate. And anyone that comes through that is going to take a huge amount of damage. There's the recycle. Elevator transfer is lost, and it looks like this might be the start of a good game. They're actually going for their second play of the game. This is a phase gate up and repair room, and I am a little bit worried this might be the end of the plays Ascension has left. They've got the last few shotguns. If you look at the P-res, they're running out a little bit, and they still haven't killed any life forms. There's Mendas on Sculpt getting a kill, and you need to be a little bit more effective than this if you want to stay in the game. There's the elevator transfer push. They're getting the whips involved. Straight onto the power node. Want to clear up the harvester and take that. That's going to put them on 6. And maybe a hive there if they feel really brave. But maybe in server room. There's a robot factory. So these guys really want to get the arcs involved and try and use the arcs to take a couple of harvesters. But at this point it's a little bit too late. Aliens have huge upgrades. They've sucked up so much res this whole game. You can see 400 for both teams. And the Marines have used that quite effectively. They got weapons 2, armor 1. But they haven't got any upgrades for about the last couple of minutes now. Phase gates have come up and down, but overall the Marine proficiency, they're still about as strong as they were a few minutes ago, and so essentially they're slowing down whilst the aliens are speeding up. There's a bone wall separating Scatter, Bonage and Jekt, quite nice, although Jekt does have line of sight. Rilo takes a lot of damage. I think he was overestimating that bone wall a little bit. Scatter, he's lost a lot of health. He needs a weld, he needs a med pack. Rilo and Valk looks like it's the opposite now. You see the two teams are swapped positions now. Rilo and Valk are holding elevator transfer, and these guys are trying to push in. Jekt, Bonage and Scatter, they've got a couple of shotguns to defend against these fades, and you can see these fades are a little bit hesitant. They can't afford to lose these fades right now, although they do have a lot of P-res saved up. Mendas on 45, even though he was gorging. Grissy's finally going in Onos with a spare 4 P-res for an upgrade soon enough. And once that Onos comes out, I'm sure these guys will clear up hub with the fades, push straight through with the Onos into repair room, and then good game will probably be called at around the 12-minute mark. I can't imagine the Ascension guys standing up to an Onos in addition to all the aliens we've got right now. So I'm surprised. Okay, so no, I'm not surprised. Mendas has gone Gorge. That way he can back up his teammates. There is no Umber upgrade, which will be extremely valuable from Icefeld right now. They don't have Onos upgrades either, which means no charge for Grissy, but he gets in position anyway, right on the phase gate. Marines are all being cleared out. Very nice job from all aliens there, each of them getting a kill. We've got a couple of Fade kills, a couple of Onos kills. Neza comes in trying to defend, but he's got really a lot of damage there before he can do any, and good game is called. Really nice game from Godar, just so smart, huge expansion. You can see they went straight for a mezzanine tunnel and an ore processing tunnel, and that didn't go down all game. Then they invested the T-res into a Crag and a whip. And what's fantastic about that is that they didn't just sit it there all game. They're not Echo, but they physically moved the stuff out slow and steady. So once you've actually invested your T-res, it's not just there all game. You've got to make sure you're actually pushing this stuff out so it remains useful. So you could check out a mezzanine, they had a Crag and a whip. You saw they had to take the whip out, which slowed them down. If they didn't have the whip or the Crag there and just the tunnel, they would have been able to kill the harvester, and then maybe they would use that just to move on to server room, and that would have created all kinds of problems for Godar, but they were prepared. Not a problem. All processing as well, they had a Crag and a whip, I believe. And then as soon as they stopped being useful, they syst up down here, take this area. Really nicely done from Godar, wasting no T-res. Very well done.